I believe in the theory of Victor Hugo that no force on earth can stop an idea whose time has come. So, demonetization is an economic idea. And if you see, there are a few other people who've spoken about it in the last 30-40 years in India. My article was not just an economic idea, it was a political roadmap on how to do it. In terms of how suddenly Prime Minister must one fine day after the banks and the working day is over in the evening announce and say, in 4 hours the notes are of no value. Create the infrastructure to receive the old notes only through the bank. In that process, not only black money, but a lot of people who have never been to banks will also come into banking fold. It will create a lot of activity around this theme of removing the dehoarded wealth. Lot of wealth which is not, see there are different kinds, and we can discuss those details. Black money which is avoidance of tax by private citizen is one kind of black money. Money taken by politicians, bureaucrats, which is in the form of bribes. They can't even go and give it because it's not just about declaring tax but declaring the source of income. Now a lot of terror groups and Maoists, for example, there's an article yesterday saying Maoists are terribly hit because they can't buy guns and all that. So different kinds of negative activities going on in the country with one shot will be. So in a sense it's a nice feeling when you think of what can I do for the country, what kind of ideas are needed, and you give. And I think it's wonderful because of the kind of digital Prime Minister office there is in India today. I call it the digital PMO, where any citizen can write to the Prime Minister, send an email or message. And of course, I wrote this article in Huffington Post, so anyway, the media team of the Prime Minister must be tracking all national and international media. So it's a very nice feeling, obviously. But I'm not surprised at all. If you notice, part of my argument gave a sense that this is going to happen very soon. No, I'll call it inconvenience. There is a disturbance, there is a change. Is it damaging to any business beyond a point? No. For a few days, yes. Maybe for a couple of weeks. See, don't forget, if the Prime Minister had pushed too much to make this system perfect by creating the notes and making sure ATMs were recalibrated, the information would have got out. It would have defeated the very purpose. It has to be done in secrecy. In fact, to me, this inconvenience and chaos that you call is the proof that this was done really well. If it did not cause this much of chaos, which means everybody knows that this is happening, then it wouldn't succeed. You had to take black money by surprise. And as you know, in sports or technology or startups, disruptive thinking is essential for success. Prime Minister to me acted like the founder of a young startup in this particular decision. I don't like the word crony capitalist. I call it crony socialist. But we know what we are talking about. If you see in the last 25 years, since 1991 liberalization, economic boom happened, lot of ill-gotten money, suddenly a lot of people became rich. Part of that wealth was created properly through new businesses, etc. But a lot of it was accumulated illegally. Government was involved in giving special privileges and benefits to their friends, etc. That money, obviously a lot of it has gone abroad, and most estimates say that a lot of it has come back as legitimate FDI. So it is not true. Today I was reading this report which said that this Swiss bank account money of Indians is definitely come down since 2006. 2006 it was at a peak in Swiss. Today it's at less than 3% or whatever. Which means most of the money has come back into India. But now it's come back as legitimate. Can we do anything about it? Please understand, as a country we cannot beyond a point influence Swiss. So it's like saying there are 3 or 4 things we can do. So do what you can do easily and immediately. Also pursue it. I think they should pursue But it's more important to understand that the biggest source of corruption in this country or any country is the discretionary power of the bureaucrat. As long as bureaucracy has discretionary economic power, which can help them benefit one private enterprise over another, corruption will be there. So the war on corruption has to be about reducing the powers of the government, and every time you must understand that citizens' rights are inversely proportional to the power of the government. So every time you empower an official, a government person to do something, you're taking a right of a citizen and creating scope for corruption. So all action against future corruption should be by reducing the powers of the government, and therefore be very suspicious about politicians who say we want more power to fight corruption, because your power is the source of corruption. The simplest thing is to remove the power of government or economics to a larger extent. Privatization of more and more. In fact, government should completely withdraw from government. I'm talking of reduction in income taxes as ideally abolition, but at least to begin with, if the income tax top level is reduced from 30 to 20, reduce taxes. I think a lot of government departments can just be removed, like food department. I mean, food department goes and checks if the food is hygienic. It's the most useless department. In this country, we eat food on streets and all for decades. People who come from abroad say, look at their pani puri, it must be unhygienic. So it's a cultural thing. I think we are fine. Government hasn't protected anybody from a unhealthy pani puri one way or the other. But that department is a constant source of harassment and corruption. Like that, there are lots of things government does which it should not do, it need not do, and that withdrawal will naturally reduce corruption. In fact, when we used to study, it used to be called political economy. So there's no such thing as politics without economics and economics without politics. Is this more likely to benefit the BJP and Mr. Narendra Modi? Of course it will. Will you be surprised if you say the CEO of Coca-Cola is launching a new product which will increase the profits of that company? That's his job. To do things which will politically benefit him and his party is part of his job. But don't forget, the political benefit will happen only if people like him and the move and the benefit. So when people say, especially opposition says, this is to get political mileage, what they are saying in a democracy is, oh my God, Mr. Modi, people will like it. And because of that, you will be getting more votes. What is the job of Mr. Modi but to make people like him and his policy and get more votes? That's his job. So yes, political benefit is there. And second, just imagine what you are saying. Think about it. If it is going to hit any other party, what does it mean? It means it's going to hit the black money held in the form of cash, in the form of 500s and thousands, by various politicians, by various leaders. You are saying UP mein BJP will win because of this. In other words, what you are saying is the elections in UP will be very clean compared to ever before. Isn't that the most wonderful reason to like this move? Absolutely. India is a very creative country. We found ways around the rule of Alexander. 1400 odd years of different kinds of foreign rule. We found a way to survive. We know we are very strong. This is a very resilient country, which is one of the reasons I believe that a lot of good ideas are needed. This one idea won't solve this country because this country is very creative. I'm already hearing of unique methods by which people are getting rid of their black money. Unique ideas, unbelievable ideas. So which is good. But this idea is a good start. It is not the end. Please understand, this is a start, it's not the end. It should not be the end. And we have to solve different problems in different ways. And this is one small solution towards it.
Okay, for black money, this is one of the solutions. So what could be the possible other solutions
to
go to the core of that issue?
Core of the issue, as I told you, is bureaucratic discretionary power. Right? Second is election funding. These are two major things. We need a democracy. We agree it's a best form. To have democracy, you need political parties. Which citizen gives money to political parties? Common middle class people now? Nobody does. So those political parties have to get money from somewhere. Where will they go? They'll go to people who have a lot of money. Normally in our society they are called businessmen. Businessmen will give money to political parties, will expect something back. So how do we get, so you need to fund we need to fund our democracy. And the so-called businessman's funding to political parties is actually a subsidy to our democracy. We want democracy free of cost. So that is one aspect. The third aspect is, like I told you in the earlier day, it's like a weight loss program. It's like a 30-day detox. You don't smoke, you don't drink for 30 days, you stop eating food with lot of fat and sweets. You lose your weight. Is it a guarantee you'll never again go back? You may go back. You have to be careful. No, there's no guarantee. For example, the voluntary disclosure scheme that happened some time ago, ended in September, that focused predominantly on fixed assets. This was on cash. Now gold is something, the same method won't work against gold. So we need different ways. See, it's like this. It's a cat and mouse game. The government and tax avoider will keep playing. This was a good one where the rat beat the mouse or whatever. So, sorry, the rat beat the... Obviously, I won't get any such invitation. But if he does call me for dinner, I would hope, he sends me the air tickets also, very expensive, because now we have some trouble getting the tickets and all. So I hope it's after the ATMs, everything is back in. And I can assure you, if I do get an opportunity like that, I will take my next 5 or 6 ideas and give it for the next year.